Today we're going to be showing you how you could change that wood trim of your Tesla Model 3 or Model Y interior to something maybe just a little bit more modern and a little bit more sleek. Let's take a look and dive in. Hit that subscribe button. Stay tuned and let's get this installed. All right, everybody, welcome back. So Paul here with another product review, and this one is from Yeslak. So I've done recently a video on some Yeslak ventilated seat covers, which I'm sitting on right now, which I absolutely love for this Tesla Model 3. But today we're going to be doing something more interior aesthetic. And so what I mean by that is we're actually going to be changing the wood trim of our Tesla Model 3 here to something that's a little bit more modern, a little bit more sleek in my opinion, and maybe kind of tie the interior together. And so this is an interior trim piece that you can get from Yeslak, and it's a pretty basic 4-piece kit. So you get enough trim pieces to cover your dashboard section here all the way across, and the 2 door trim panels as you saw in the intro. And so what we're going to do here is get this installed today, see how the product works, see how well it sticks to this wood here, and just kind of give an overall idea of how it looks in my interior. Now, this does come in a couple different flavors. You could get this in white or you get this in black, and I believe they even make it in a gloss white. So if you have like a white interior and you want it to pop a little bit more with that white, you can do the gloss white or just the matte white for that. And this is the matte black. So I'll be putting the matte black in my black interior of my 2022 Tesla Model 3 Performance. Now, this is only for the older generation Tesla Model 3 and Model Y. I'll put down in the description a link for this product and also the model years that this applies to. So it's not every single model year, and obviously it's not the newest Highland or Juniper Model 3, Model Y, since they don't have a wood trim in them anymore. But this is to basically turn your last generation Model 3 or Model Y into a pretty nice looking interior. And as you can see, it's a pretty direct fit. It just kind of sits there, and it's just double-sided tape that holds it down to the wood that's already there. So you're not removing anything, you're not making any major changes to your interior. It's pretty simple for it to just stick down to the wood that's already there. And that's it. So this should be a pretty simple process, and we'll kind of show you the process of how I usually like to install plastic trim pieces like this, because sometimes it could be a little bit stressing to try to get one piece on when you have all the double-sided tape peeled off, and you don't want to mess up, because if you line it up incorrectly, then it's gonna, well, it'll just not look well. So what we're gonna do today is get these pieces installed, see how they look, and of course, if you're interested, link is in the description below. But anyway, one thing I want to point out real quick before we start this process is that the passenger side piece for this middle trim piece, because it is 2 pieces for this long piece here, you want to install the passenger side first because it has this little lip here, and the driver's side will sit on top of that lip. So if you are installing this, make sure you do the passenger side first, in my opinion. That should make this process go a lot easier for you. But I think what we're going to do is start with this door trim here. Just get it kind of prepped and ready to go. And basically all I'm going to do is I'm just going to wipe it down to make sure that there's no oils or anything on this trim piece. I don't want to do anything that's going to be harsh, like potentially removing the wood finish from it either. So we want to kind of make this as basic and as simple as possible. And so we're just going to kind of hit the wood with a cloth, make sure that there's no oils or anything on it. And then we'll be taking that double-sided tape off to put the trim piece on. So let's get you turned in that direction and take a look at how this install goes. All right, so now we got our wood trim piece set up here. And make sure you grab the correct side before you do this. You don't want to start peeling off the backing and then realize you got the wrong side. Line it up just real quick. Make sure you get an idea of how it's going to fit, how it's going to sit. You're not going to be covering up this brushed stainless piece at all. That is actually not going to be part of this install, so you want to make sure that you stay away from that. So you do have a little bit of a curve here that you have to kind of compensate for, and we also want to make sure we cover up all of the wood as well. That's the whole reason for this kit. So what I'm going to do here is I am going to as you can see, we have a couple pieces, 2 long pieces here, and then we have this little short piece at the end here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to actually take this piece off first, and this is always a pain to get these things off. All right, so got those pieces off. So as you can see, I took the whole piece off the end here, and then I just started these 2 long strips here. And so what we're going to do here is we're just going to make sure that they're sitting on the outside like this, and we are going to start lining this up like so. And then what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that we have the angle correctly. We're going to make sure we're going to have everything kind of lined up the way we want. And then once we have that kind of situated, we're going to push down here to make sure that this sticks, and it kind of acts as like an anchor. And then what we're going to do is we're going to kind of hold it down in the way that we want it to make sure that it goes in that direction. And what we're going to do is we're going to basically start peeling these back. Not necessarily at the same time, but definitely at a similar rate. So we're going to do that one. We're going to do that one. Try to get in here again. Once again, you're trying to keep this side exactly where you want it. And if you get any tightness when you're pulling this, try to maybe not push down so hard because you don't want to break this. But you can see how easy that's just getting pulled through like so. And then let's do this top one first. Coming around this edge might be a little tricky. There we go, got it. And then we're going to make sure we line up. There we go. And we'll just push it down. Of course, the fingerprints look horrible on it already, but we'll get that cleaned up here in just a minute. But we'll just push this in, clean it up a little bit here, just like that. We've now transformed the wood into this nice black look to it. Like it a lot. Very nice. Once again, matte black, so it looks really nice against the interior. And yeah, looking forward to getting the rest of the pieces on. This looks great. All right, so pretty much the same rules apply for this in here. I'm gonna clean up the dashboard a little bit, try to get any dust, try to get any fingerprints that could be on it. That's oils that could be potentially interfering. I'm seeing a little dust here from the vents, so we're going to try to clean that stuff out as well. And I probably would recommend, actually, is turning off the climate control while you do this, because you don't want the climate control to blow any dust particles into it while you are trying to get this installed. All right, so same rules apply for here. We have the end pieces here, end piece there, and then we have these 3 strips. So I think what we're going to do here is what we're going to have to do is peel these 2 end pieces off like here in the bottom here. Take the bottom piece out, fold that to the bottom. The middle piece will fold to the bottom as well. So the bottom and the middle will fold to the bottom. The top piece will fold to the top. And then what we'll have to do is we'll have to make sure that we keep the middle one ahead of the bottom one. And I'll make more sense of that once we get there. But let's go ahead and start by just grabbing these end pieces off here, and then we'll get the rest installed. All right, same rules apply. We can see we have the top piece completely off, this piece completely off, and then we have the 3 long ones across it just started basically. And you can see we have our middle one kind of pulled out just a little further than the bottom one here. And so what we're gonna do is we're just gonna line up this side first, make sure we get it exactly where we want it. And then we're going to basically drop it in place here. We don't want to push it down because we want to make sure we have a clear path for the tape to get out. So what we're going to do here is we're going to pull on this middle one for part of it. We'll put on the bottom one, pull on the top one, and then what we can do is push down over here. Like so. All right. That looks like it's in place pretty good. And then we'll just keep going down the length of the dashboard. That's out. That is out. That is out. Make sure it looks like it's lined up. Getting hot in here. Need to put that air conditioning back on. there we go. All right, now all there is left is the driver's side and the driver's side door, but I don't think I need to show you those. I think you kind of get the idea of how to install this. So let me get those installed, and then I will show you the finished product when we're done. But this looks pretty darn good. All right, well, as you can see, we got all the trim pieces installed here. Looks really good. The black all the way around here. You can see that seam there. You can see how close I got that seam. So those two plastic pieces are pretty close to each other. It's probably better that they're not touching, because then you want some expansion and, you know, contraction room, just in case, you know, the heat and cold maybe causes the plastic to move a little bit. So it's probably better to have a little bit of a gap. Plus it's right behind the screen, as you can see. So it's not like it's really gonna, you know, nobody's gonna see it. But yeah, as you can see, it completely goes around all the way to the passenger side door. So looks really good. All right, I figured I'll get a shot of this out in the sun for you as well. So there is the black. Once again, this is the matte black on that door panel. Looks really good. Here is the dash panel here. Goes all the way down. Looks pretty good. All right, everybody. Well, there you go. There is the Yeslak interior trim pieces for the Model 3 or Model Y, depending on your year. And I think they look really good. I mean, they seem to be sticking pretty well. Obviously, the double-sided tape is not really going to go anywhere as long as you get it down perfect. And like I said, cleaning the surface is the biggest thing, to make sure that you clean it first. Everything looks really nice. I like the way it looks. It cleans up the interior, makes it look more modern. And yeah, so if you don't like the wood trim pieces in your car, you could definitely pick up this kit. Like I said, link will be down in the description below. And I'd like to thank Yeslak very much for sending this product out. I think it's really cool. I think it dresses up the interior nicely. Anyway, I'd like to thank all of you again for watching this episode today. And of course, we'll see you all on another episode in the near future. Hit that like button below, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you on the next one. And remember, welcome to the future. Welcome to Tech Motoring.